Welcome back to another video. As you know, hopefully you could tell right away, um, my audio should hopefully be better as I got a mic instead of doing this through my Xbox headset. Um, Obviously if it still sounds like kind of bad, I did test before this and it sounded like it could have been maybe the game bar. I'm recording it through the game bar on PC, rather than like a capture card or something. So obviously, if the audio is still bad, with that, then obviously I'll get a capture card, all that type of stuff. Um, but hopefully it's still better, and hopefully we don't have no problems. Obviously, trying to make the just overall production just better. Um, but anyways, as you can see from the title, we're doing another investment video. If you have followed any of the investments I gave out in the past, with last roster update of someone like a Jordan Westberg who went up to gold. We had Ryan Jeffers, he went up to gold. And then even I guess farther back, I have some other guys that I kind of gave out that went up, like C.J. Abrams. And then some of them obviously they still went up, but they didn't go up to gold, and I still am like keeping them and holding them and waiting for them to go up possibly. So I made like almost over 500K, and a smart person who's trying to do collections would have just bought the cards they need left for the collections, just to complete it. But instead I decided to go crazy with the packs. I bought three of these, two of these. I was just buying a whole bunch of packs. I bought one of these. I was buying just a whole bunch of packs, and let's just say I did not get any type of luck. So, stupid decision. But, I do like opening packs sometimes. So, it happened, right? But I still kept enough to obviously do some investments. As, obviously, if I'm going to give out some investments, it also makes sense to have the card I'm investing in. I'm not going to say, go buy Nestor Cortez and I have none of Nestor Cortez. It doesn't, add up, right? Um, but one thing I guess that I will say, kind of on that kind of topic, is there's definitely cards that I'm not investing in. As I don't know, I like to stick to investing in the cheaper players, the silvers, the bronzes. But I think a lot of the golds are a lot more easier to make stubs off of, but obviously they cost a lot more. You can buy a lot less of them, so it has not as much of like a kind of like a boom or bust type of factor with it. Like some of these silvers, it's like you buy a whole bunch of them at like 100 stubs, then if they go to somehow in a few roster updates they go to diamond, you're gonna make a lot of stubs off of it. For example, this is someone I think will for sure be a diamond, Chris Sale. At the current price you buy him at, you definitely will make stubs if he goes diamond. But, you obviously for his price, unless you have, a super high amount of stubs or you put all your stubs into one player, um, you know, you're going to not make a super high amount of stubs based off, how much you're paying to get him. But yeah, someone that I think could go diamond that I'm not investing in, Chris Sale. Someone that I could invest in still, but I haven't, Salvador Perez. He's definitely someone I think could possibly go diamond, as he's been really, really good this season, and the best catcher in baseball this year. Um, and he's being sold for close to the sell now, so I think that's a really, really good price you can get him at. Another possible diamond I think is Ryan Helsley. He's been really good this year. I'm not investing in him, but you could also get him for close to buy now price, and he's been really, really good. Shota Imanaga, anybody who watches baseball should know what he's doing. Um, he will probably be a diamond. Honestly, surprised he wasn't a diamond from the last roster update, because what he's doing has been really, really amazing, and especially when they brought up on the Athletics Mason Miller all the way to a diamond. Not saying what Mason Miller is doing is not amazing also, but he was a lower overall, and he somehow skyrocketed to a diamond, while Shota's also doing insane things and started off as a higher overall. So it didn't really make sense. But for this price, you will definitely make Stubs if he goes diamond, um, as I think he will. Am I personally, buying any of him? Not really, because, like I said, um, I like to stick to the lower price investments and all that type of stuff. Um, Especially with, like I said in the past, I know a lot of people don't have, high Stubs unless they play this game all the time. So for like the casual players that don't have a super high amount of Stubs, some of these investments I'm giving out, I think definitely are way better, as you can get a lot more of them, and because just they're way cheaper. Um, so yeah, first investment we're going over is John Gray. He has a 2 ERA this year. He has a pretty high whip, which is maybe a little bit concerning, but I feel like for this price and just how he's been this year, I think a 137 Stubs is really, really good. And, I think that, he definitely has capability of going to a gold. Now, the thing I would say is today, as of when I'm recording this, he does play the Phillies. Um, and so, I mean, I guess with any other person you're investing in, if you're about to invest in a player and you see that they're about to start against, a team that you think they're going to have a good start against, then I would buy him obviously before his start. And if you think he's going to have a bad start, then I would wait till after his start, because his price is going to drop or increase based off, how he plays. Um, he's playing the Phillies. Me personally, even though I'm investing in him, I'm not really confident he's going to have a really good game. As I mean, if you look at the Phillies, I mean, they're just an amazing team. I mean, even in MLB The Show, I mean, look at their team. They have so many golds and higher. Like, their team's just been really, really good. As I guess also another person you could get that I think could definitely be a diamond is Ranger Suarez. But, yeah, like I was saying, though, I think he's not going to have the greatest start. And I hope he does still, because I'm investing in him. But, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and give fake confidence that he's going to do good. So I mean, unless you think he's gonna have a good start, which if he does, his price is going to skyrocket because it's the Phillies. But if he does have a bad start, his price is obviously gonna drop. So depending on how confident you are, if you're watching this before the game, obviously, if you're confident that he's gonna have a good start, then go buy him now. But if you think he's gonna have a bad start, then wait till after the start. Um, so yeah, and I mean that just happens with all pitchers. As someone I was gonna give out in this video was Luis Gil, which his price is really really high now. I bought a whole bunch of him for like 80 Stubs, and then obviously after the game he had, I sold a whole bunch of him because he broke the record for most strikeouts by a rookie on one of the biggest teams in baseball. So obviously everyone's gonna hear about it and know about it. And so his price, obviously skyrocketed, especially with him being supercharged. So I sold all of my Luis Gills because it was for more than like what a gold sells for, and he's probably at most gonna be gold. Um, so I was selling for a pretty high price. Kind of sucks though that I didn't make this video a little bit earlier, because I could have definitely gave that out. But yeah, so it's kind of like just basically what I'm saying is with pitchers, if they're about to have a start that's going to be really good, their prices are going to skyrocket. So I would obviously get them before you think that they're going to have a really good start. And one that I think will definitely have a really good start possibly today is Yusei Kikuchi, as he is 171 Stubs already. So that's honestly a pretty high price for a silver, but I think he definitely is going to be a gold. Especially with, unless he for some reason gets, hammered today by the White Sox, one of the worst hitting teams, his price is not going to get lower than 171. So you're still getting, I think, a pretty good, deal, I guess you could say, at 171. I'm currently still buying all the investments I'm getting, so I only have 26 of him. But I have buy orders on him, obviously, trying to get more of him. As I think he will have a good game against the White Sox today, which is going to obviously make his price go even higher. So, Yusei Kikuchi is another guy I think having a really good year. He's been really good against some of the best lineups, in the games he played against, the New York Yankees. He did some things to them. Let's just say that. He was really good in those games. Um and now he's playing, a team like the White Sox. I think it's going to be a pretty good game for him. And just in general, really good season. I think he'll be gold for sure. And so yeah, that's the second investment of the video. The third guy I want to go over is someone that is also a pitcher, which you're probably thinking, um, why am I investing in a bronze? But trust me, I'm telling you right now, some of the relievers is where it's at when you're trying to make stubs. Currently, he's 43 stubs, and I have the highest buy order on him right now. So, trying to get as many as I can of him for a really cheap price, as he's been one of the best relievers silently, I think, too. I feel like not many people have really talked about him that much at all. And he has, still a high amount of innings pitched. It's not like he's doing what he's doing in a low amount of innings pitched, as he currently has like a .6 ERA with a .7 WHIP through 26 innings with like 31 Ks. So he's K'ing people. His 64 Ks per nine, I think, will definitely go up. He doesn't actually have high velo or great control, so I could understand those not going up. But his break, I think, also will go up. Um, his home runs per nine could go up. Just in general, if he's doing what he's doing in real life, he's going to go up a lot. And with some of these relievers, they definitely do go up quite a bit. As you know, last roster update, I'm pretty sure some of them went up like +6, +12 overall. And I feel like the relievers are pretty cheap a lot because they're not as talked about majority of the time. And there's obviously some that are kind of slept on. I think Brian Hudson's one of them where I haven't heard really anything about him this season. And maybe that's just me. I don't know. But, he's been really, really good this year. For 43 stubs, I think he's for sure going to be a silver. And if he keeps doing what he's doing, he could be gold. And if he keeps doing what he's doing, obviously it will take a long time, but he could definitely even go diamond. Really good, obviously, with a .6 ERA, .7 WHIP through 26 innings. That's insane. So he's been really, really good. Another reliever, though, that you could also go and get is Reed Garrett, as I currently am buying, more of him. His price actually went up, so I'm not getting any more of him. But I still think for 107 stubs, really good. Also, another really, really good reliever. I think his ERA is pretty close to Brian Hudson's at like a .7 or something like that, .8. Also having a really good year. Could definitely go gold, especially with, possibly maybe having a bigger role, as Edwin Diaz blew a save against the Marlins and he's no longer the closer. So who knows? Maybe Reed Garrett gets a bigger role. I mean, they have, another closer in Brooks Raley, but, maybe they're confident with Reed Garrett enough to the where they want him as their closer or something. I don't know. Which I feel like closers obviously have more recognition than like relief pitchers. They come in big moments, stuff like that. You understand. But another, I think, really cheap, reliever you can get that I think could definitely go gold. 107 stubs is really, really cheap for a silver. So, a lot of pitchers in this video, but I feel like the pitchers is kind of where it's at right now with a lot of the investments. I feel like, most of the players that are good this season, like hitters, I mean, any position players, if they're playing good, they're probably already, a high overall, or they're going up in overall and their price is high. And obviously, if they're not playing good, then their price is going to be low. I think at this point of the season, you kind of already know who's going to have, unless, someone can get hot at the end of the season. But I feel like for the most part, you kind of figured out who's been really good, who hasn't. Um, you know, um, but one position player that you could definitely, I think, invest in is Brent Rooker, as I had the highest, buy order on him, as his price went up though now, to 129. I still think this is a very cheap price. He already has the 90 and 94 power versus right and left. So, it kind of sucks that, maybe because of that, that's why I'm kind of giving this out as like a, if you want to go ahead, I'm doing it. But I think he definitely can go gold, as obviously a lot of his stats I think are not going to change aside from maybe his contact. I think that's the main thing. As, last year he was doing, you know, kind of the same thing where he got kind of hot and he hits the ball pretty hard, but he strikes out a lot. The difference is this year is he's batting like 280 something. Last year he was batting like 230, 240, I think it was. So I think his contact could definitely go up just because, his batting average is higher. And he's been pretty good this season. The Athletics haven't been athletics bad, if that makes sense. Like, they're not the worst team in the league this year. And I think a big reason to that is Brent Rooker having a really good season. Even with starting off struggling, like he was starting off really, really bad, and he still has a 280 batting average. So he's been really good. I think, like I said, for this price right now, 129 when I'm giving it out, I think it's a really good price to go get, someone on a team that isn't playing that insanely bad, and you know, they only have one diamond in Mason Miller. Could they eventually maybe add a gold if they keep winning games? I think they're going to, and I think Brent Rooker is going to be that guy. So that's kind of the last guy I'm giving out in this video. I obviously have my other investments I kind of gave out in the past that are still not too bad at prices, but I'm not trying to give out the same players. One of them is like, Tommy Pham. He's 150 stubs. I think that's a pretty good investment. We had Connor Wong, who I think is not a bad investment at, 149 stubs. Anthony Volpe, I think I gave out in the past. He's up to over 200. Otherwise, I would have included him in this video as he's on like a 14 or 15 game hit streak. The longest, I think, in the whole entire league. I know for a fact it's in the AL, but I'm pretty sure also in the league he has the highest or the longest hitting streak currently. So yeah, kind of them. I still have a lot of my, investment into Jackson Merrill. If you want to get into some Jackson Merrill, go for it. And then I kind of have, Javier Assad. His price is kind of high, though. So, some of the guys that I gave out in the past, their prices are starting to get up there. I still think for a relatively decent price, Bryce Terang, which I probably will buy more of him. I gave out for like 90 stubs in my last video, I think it was, or maybe two videos ago on MLB The Show. But I think he's also been really, really good this year. And just in general, the Brewers have been a really good team this year, meaning that, he's been a big part of it. So his overall is probably going to go up. So kind of two guys on the Brewers that I really do like is, Brian Hudson and Bryce Terang. But yeah, so those are kind of all my investments for the start of the roster update. I think, like I said in the past, kind of the best time to, I think, invest in players is right after the last roster update, as a lot of the prices are going to drop for players because, it's going to be a little bit till their overall goes up again or down or just change. You get what I mean. But, so yeah, I got a new mic. Hopefully the audio is better, like I said. Obviously, if it's not the best, I'll figure that out with, getting a capture card. Because, like I said, I think part of it is the game bar rather than the mic itself. But yeah, so hopefully the audio is better. Trying every video to try to do something better than the last video. Whether it's, audio, the thumbnail, the actual content itself, stuff like that. So yeah, but thank you guys for watching, and hope you make some stubs from my roster investments, and I'll see y'all in the next one.